My next guest is a clinical psychologist, a longtime host of The Doctor Is In on EWTN Radio. He's also the father of 10 adopted children and the author of the new book, Raising Upright Kids in an Upside-Down World. Boy, could that book have come at a better time or what? He's here with me today with his advice to all of us, parents who are now working from home and essentially homeschooling our children as a result of this pandemic. Please welcome back to the program, Dr. Ray Guarendi. Dr. Ray, how are you all doing over there?
Hi, Raymond. Nothing gaining on me here.
All right, well, good. Well, good. Now, look, most Americans, their lives have changed very rapidly within the span of a week. As I mentioned earlier, schools are closed, spring breaks are being extended, high schools, colleges are going online. I've got kids in separate rooms listening to their professors or teachers. This means kids are in the house and parents are working from home. What strategies can they employ, the parents, to deal with this new normal?
New situations, Raymond, give you an insight into something maybe you needed to have. If a parent is being driven crazy by the kids at home, my first suggestion, look at your discipline skills. Can you control the chaos through some normal, confident, calm discipline? Because if those kids are home 3 times as much as they normally are, then you're going to have 3 times the look at your discipline skills.
Good. That's great advice. What about, it is difficult, though, I think, when you have, and it again, you talk about this new situation. I've watched it in our own house. You know, I'm working in my office. I've got my son in the other room, you know, with his professors at Notre Dame. I've got my kids in their rooms. They're doing their lessons from school, which the high school is sending. And my wife is running like a triage operation between all the rooms, trying to keep everybody fed, on point. What advice would you give to the layout of the day, the scheduling of the day? Should that change or be adjusted given this new reality we're dealing with?
Paradigm shift. Slow down. The Americans sometimes have to be hit with a 2x4 to change our style. We have been forced, Raymond, to slow down. I know I'm sitting here in my living room, and in there I'm painting cabinets that I wasn't going to paint until the year 2051. I'm painting cabinets, and then I'm going to read, and then and you know what else I'm going to do? I'm going to talk to my wife. We have a chance, maybe a week, maybe 3, maybe 4, 5. Slow down. As a friend of mine said, he asked his son's 16, "What are you going to do tonight?" "Nothing." "Well, what about tomorrow?" "Nothing." "What about the day after tomorrow?" "Nothing." "Okay, then enjoy it, son."
Yeah, no, we've found, I mean, I'll tell you, Ray, and I'll make a little confession publicly here. I have not been out bike riding with my children in probably 5 or 6 years when they were very small. It's just something we stopped doing. Well, we've done it this week. There are all these things, watching movies together, TED
Raymond?
Talks together. I made a recommended list of things people could watch. I wrote an article about it on Fox News the other day because it's a great time to educate kids in the world we grew up in and allow them to educate us in the world they're in currently.
Oh, yeah, of course. But my mom and dad were teenagers in World War II. And they told me the kinds of things they had to do for 3.5 years. And I'm thinking, comparing to what they did to what I have to do, okay, I can't go out to eat. Okay, I'm not going to get my hair cut for another week or 2. Okay, I've got to sit down and read a little bit. I have to tell myself, Raymond, don't be a baby.
What, Ray, how do we schedule? And should there be a schedule in the house given the different realities that everybody in the same household is living in under the same roof. You don't have the break. You can't go off and work somewhere else. You got to work at the house. You're teleworking. The kids are having to do their studies and lessons in the house. How do you harmoniously make that work when you've never had to do it before?
Sometimes it will make itself work, Raymond. We are forced to adjust our schedules. People will say to me, how do I not treat my sister-in-law mean? And I will answer, don't treat your sister-in-law mean. It's not a matter of how. It's a matter of do it. You have a different schedule. You have more flexibility, and you have some shifts and changes. Okay, do it. It's not a matter of, I got to find the technique or the formula to do this. It's a matter of, this is what we are doing. And Raymond, I want to go back to that discipline thing. 80% of the reason that parents tell me their kids drive them crazy is because the parent doesn't feel like he or she has discipline control. They can't say, that's disrespectful, go sit on your bed. Sit down at the table, put your head down, I'll set the timer. They can't do that, so therefore everything becomes a potential clash. That's chaos.
Now, what if they haven't been doing it all along? Okay, they haven't been disciplining the kid because there was that distance, but now you're confronted with the reality of it. What should they do? How do they begin a system of discipline in this time of crisis and a lot of panic and anxiety? Let's face it.
That's easy, Raymond. Go out and buy all my books. And if they don't want to do that, what they can do, very simple strategy. Make your request. That's the first step. Think about what you will do if your request is ignored or defied. In other words, what will be your consequence, and then enforce it. If you do this successfully the first 2-3 days that the kids are home, you will see a 50% plummet in the friction and the turbulence in that home. Guarantee it.
Yeah, no, I agree. Look, but before we go, your newest book, which seems as if it was perfectly timed, Raising Upright Kids in an Upside-Down World, Defying the Anti-Parent Culture. Could this unprecedented crisis somehow have a positive effect, not only on parenting, but on families? I just see it as an opportunity to read together, which is something, people rarely do as a family unit, to watch things together and not in isolation in everybody going to their corners, and to just spend time talking, communicating.
A client walks into my office, Raymond. I almost never don't have some ideas to help them live their lives better. Do you know what I don't have? I don't have the leverage to make them do it. Oftentimes, we human, call it fallen human nature, we have to be forced to do what is good for us, and then we see the payoff, and then some of us continue to do it after the force is gone.
Yeah. I want to play something before we run out of time. I saw this the other day. CBS News aired interviews with kids down in Florida at spring break, oblivious to the coronavirus threat, the national and public health emergency that's gripped the country. They're partying, and they really don't care. Listen.
If I get corona, I get corona. At the end of the day, I'm not going to let it stop me from partying. We've been waiting for Miami spring break for a while.
Dr. Ray, what would you say to those kids if you were their parents?
Oh, Raymond, I am trained to use very sophisticated psychological language. I would say that these are spoiled, grown-up brats.
Yeah. I think people would agree with you. Entitled spoiled brats. Dr. Ray, we will leave it there. Your book, Raising Upright Kids in an Upside-Down World, is available everywhere. And, of course, Dr. Ray Guarendi has his show on EWTN, which you should check out. The book is at the EWTN Religious Catalog, EWTNRC.com. Dr. Ray, be safe. Thanks for the time.
Raymond, always.